Have you ever been driving along in BeamNG and all of a sudden felt like you didn't want to have any vegetation anywhere? Well, that's what we're going to look at today. How to get rid of all the trees in BeamNG. How you doing? I'm davidinark and welcome to BeamNG Drive. Today, we are looking at different maps. Here is the automation test track map, and boom! All the vegetation is gone. This is so crazy and so cool. I don't know why I hadn't thought to make a video about this before. I was just messing around in BeamNG with some different things, and I can't even remember what I was doing, but I managed to disable all of the vegetation, and when I came back into the map, I was like, this is so otherworldly. It is so weird to be driving around different maps in BeamNG and have no vegetation. There's no trees, there's no grass, there's no shrubs. I mean, it is so cool, and it's so weird because, especially like on this particular map, if you're familiar with this map, you know this area right here is loaded with forestation, and we have taken that all out, and it just it definitely looks like it's an incomplete map, but at the same time, it's just a whole different experience. Over here we are on East Coast USA, and again, we take away all the vegetation, and this is a completely different map. It is a completely different experience from when you actually have all of the trees and shrubs and grass. One of the main things, well, if I could stay on the road, we're not going to worry about that today. This isn't about Dave's driving. This is about what things look like. But look in the distance. You can see the wood shop area, lumber yard. Thanks. Hi, how you doing? I'm davidinark. But anyway, and you can see the barns. You can see the houses. And what's weird is, even though so evidently telephone poles are part of vegetation because we still have the wires, but we have no poles. So we don't have wireless electricity here in BeamNG. We've got poleless electricity. I don't know how that works. Look at this though, coming down to the seaside town, and again, there's just no vegetation, no trees, no shrubs. This is, oh, it is so different. The other thing that does, you may or may not have realized at this point, is that because there is no vegetation to stop you, you can pretty much go wherever you want to go. You know, in the normal game or on a normal map, the vegetation helps keep you kind of between the lines, as it were. But here, you feel like going off-roading anywhere you want to go off-roading, and you absolutely can. So anyhow, just thought it'd be fun to take a look at the East Coast USA and see how that looks with no trees. We got several maps. I'm just using the default maps that come with the game, by the way. In a future video, I am going to take a look at a map that many of you have probably seen by now, and it's the most dangerous road. We'll take a look at that. In the meantime, though, hanging out here, and this is Hirochi something, or I don't know, ETK something, I don't know, I can't remember what the name of the map is, man. I just load them in and take out the trees. Obviously, it's the ETK driving experience, yeah, because that's what the sign says. I saw the sign. Again though, look at this, no vegetation. So you know what that means? I can just drive straight under the sign, which, okay, be honest, I could probably do that anyway. I don't really remember now. It's funny how when you take away all the vegetation, for me anyway, I instantly forget what it looked like with vegetation. I'll be honest, I don't know if I ever knew there was a castle up on that hill. I did forget, however, that there's a barrier in the way down here. I don't know, I'm sure I've seen it 100 times playing this game and playing on this map, but for whatever reason, with no vegetation, it stands out like a sore thumb. But oh my gosh. So again, here on the ETK driving experience, just cruising around, checking out the map with no vegetation. And as I mentioned before, like telephone poles on East Coast USA disappeared. You will see in various maps that when you take out the vegetation, it removes, like on some maps, it actually takes out different fencing. Sometimes it seems to take out guardrails. So I guess it's just how those different objects are packed into the quote-unquote vegetation folder. I don't know. Listen, I barely know what I'm doing, even after playing after, 8 years. Here we are on Italy, and check this out. Boom, no trees. And look at that. You can just see forever into the distance. Oh, that's so cool. Look at this. That is awesome. I mean, look at the mountains. You can see the roads going up, the various buildings as we go down here through the hairpin turns. And actually, since there's no vegetation, there aren't any trees keeping us on the road, we're just going to drive off the cliffs, diving off the hills in Italy in BeamNG Drive. Why? Because we can. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, oh, hey, we landed on all fours, so there is that. But oh my gosh, this is just crazy. It really is a whole. Oh, come on, catch it. Here we go. Catch it. There it is. Yeah. Landed upright and managed to drive. Well, okay. The back end is completely out of control. There we go. Good little boy. Good little car. But, I mean, it really is. It's a completely different game when you get into the maps and you just take away all the trees. And here we are on Jungle Rock Island, I think this one is. Look at that. And this one completely changes. When you take away the vegetation, because it's Jungle Rock Island, right? The whole thing is jungle, and it's very dense with different foliage. You take that away, and it's a very barren wasteland. And unfortunately, one of the side effects that you can see here, vegetation is also used to hide lower texture areas, as you can see, because now we see them all, and it's not pretty, folks. It's not pretty, but at the same time, it is so cool. It really is just such a neat experience. I wholeheartedly recommend it. And at the end of this video, I will explain how this is done. How do you go in on the map and get rid of all of the vegetation? So be sure to stay tuned for that, because that's coming up here in just a couple of minutes. We'll take actually maybe by now about a minute or so. But anyway, we'll take a look at that in just a moment. But look at this, coming around these bends and grabbing these vistas. Man, that is just so cool. Okay, we'll do one more. Let's do Utah, USA. And again, when you think of the Utah map, you don't necessarily think of the vegetation that was on the map, that's in the game. And yet, when you take it away, it makes Utah look even more barren than it already was. And at the same time, at least for me, I don't know why, but I guess because the vegetation is so sparse on this map, when you take it away, it actually, to me, seems to have a much bigger impact than some of the other maps. Now, Jungle Rock definitely had a major impact, but there you go. All right, so how do you do this? Well, you press F11. That'll get you into the world editor. Then over on the right-hand side, you will see a list of all the different assets that are in the game. You're going to go up to the search box, and you're going to type in vegetation, although really VEG is usually enough to get you there. There's a little eyeball here on the right-hand side. You click on that, and that will hide all of the vegetation in the game. Press F11 to get back out of the world editor, and now you can drive around freely in whatever map you want to without vegetation. Now, you do have to do this on each individual map, and if you do not want it to save this way, be sure to uncheck the Save Changes box in the world editor. There you go. Got any other questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories? Feel free to leave those down in the comments section below. Special thanks to all the folks who support the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm davidinark. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.